How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another FPL GW video. Bum, 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 bum. If you're wondering about the human siren, well, that's because I smashed it on the wildcard. Today, we'll have a look at my Gameweek 9 plans, transfers and captaincy, but first, let's have a look at how the Gameweek 8 wildcard team performed. If you've watched my previous 3 videos for my Gameweek 8 wildcard team, or even if you follow me on Twitter, you would know that I went with a high risk, high reward strategy based on a few gut feels. The first thing to note is that I decided on going for 4 at the back. What's crazy here is that in my entire 6 seasons of playing FPL, I have never, ever willingly played with more than 3 at the back. It's just one of my philosophies of how I play the game, and I've been quite consistent, as you can see from my FPL history on the right hand side of your screen. But for this wildcard team, I went purely on a gut feeling and decided to change things up and go with 4 at the back. I've said it before and I will always say it. Never be stubborn or biased with FPL. Flexibility is the most important aspect of playing FPL successfully. Whether that's flexibility in your squad by having players at different price points, whether it's your mindset and being able to adapt by the type of transfers you make, or even a change in strategy, flexibility is important. Anyway, enough with the lecture, but all I'm saying is, always be prepared for anything in FPL, adapt accordingly and just back yourself and your gut feels. Don't follow the herd and do what everyone is doing. If you just followed everyone, you'd never win FPL, and that's what we're all trying to do, right? Win FPL? So yeah, my back 4 came through for me, and I went with the higher ceiling type of players over the safer options. The safe options from Man City would have been Diaz and possibly Walker after Diaz, and from Chelsea on a normal day would have been Rudiger, but since he was out injured, Azpilicueta was the safest option. But I decided on Cancelo and Chilwell from these 2 teams, and my word did it work in my favour. Chilwell with a goal and a clean sheet. James, who was highly picked in most wildcard teams over Chilwell, was benched, and Cancelo with a clean sheet was saved from Pep Roulette when both Diaz and Walker were benched. In attack, the king, the best player in the world currently, delivered again with an assist that was out of this world and basically a goal that was a repeat of his goal against Man City. I've said it in my previous video and on my social media platform that this week wasn't the week to go differential captain. I know some of you were put off by the early kickoff, but that rule just doesn't apply when it comes to Salah. The rest of the attack was useless, and with Gundo and Armstrong not featuring at all, Smith Rowe and Livramento came in, changing my formation to a 5-3-2. In going for the high ceiling rotation risk players, I ensured that I had a decent bench to cover for a player or players that may miss out due to the madness that is Pep and Tuchel roulette, and now we've even seen that Armstrong, who has played every game thus far, suddenly benched as well. So me getting the points from Livramento and Smith Rowe isn't based on just pure luck, it was a strategy based on how risky I went with my starting 11. I was quite disappointed in Mahrez, who usually averages a goal every 50 minutes against Burnley, but I finished on 75 points and a huge green arrow from around 57.5k to 12.7k in the world, and you know what that calls for.
I killed it, it's murder.
I'm well on target to reach my goal of finishing in the top 1000 this season, and now with this great start, a goal of the top 500, maybe even push to win it all is on the cards. I'll definitely be trying, but for now, let's look at trying to get another green arrow in Gameweek 9, starting with my transfer thoughts for the game week. With all the rotation that we've seen in Gameweek 8, I've targeted 3 players, of which one of them could make their way into my team either this game week or in Game Week 10 based on the information we hear from the managers during their presses later in the week. Remember, there's still midweek European football, and I'd advise not making any transfers until all those matches are complete and after we hear from the managers later in the week. always make informed decisions because you may have a player or two that could get injured or COVID between this very moment and the manager press conferences later on. So just be patient. Starting with the first man, we're all struggling for the correct pronunciation of his name, so we'll call him by his first name, Brian. He's playing out of position in an informed Brentford team. He struck the post twice against Chelsea, and I saw a stat that said he's hit the post 6 times so far this season, which is insane. He's definitely going to have a huge haul soon. Up next is Rafinha, who missed Gameweek 8 due to fatigue by playing a game for Brazil the day before. So he's likely my transfer in sometime between Gameweek 9 and 10. I took a punt for one game week on Mahrez, but based on the Champions League, if I feel Mahrez will play this weekend, then I won't make a transfer, as I have a full squad of 15 with decent fixtures who can cover for him if he misses out, and the same can be said for Gundogan in my team. He could possibly leave as well, but Pep does love him, so I'd expect him to be in the starting 11. And finally, the last transfer target is Armando Broja, who started ahead of Adam Armstrong and scored as well. He's definitely on my watch list, especially if Armstrong has lost his spot. Southampton have an amazing run coming up, and I would want whoever is their striker. If it's Broja, then at 5 million, we'll all be saving on 1 million from downgrading Armstrong to him. With that being said, I'm likely not to make any transfer this game week as long as I don't have any player that gets injured or COVID. So this is how I will likely line up. On the bench, I have Ben Foster away at Everton, Smith Rowe and Livramento with some amazing fixtures if I do say so myself, and Luiz against Arsenal. In goal, I have Aaron Ramsdale. In the defense, Cancelo, Trent, Chilwell and Christensen. In midfield, Mo, Mahrez and Gundogan. And up top, Antonio, Lukaku and Adam Armstrong. I know Mahrez, Gundogan and Armstrong are risky picks, but that's what my bench is for. Having 2 free transfers in Game Week 10 will be huge, so I'd ideally like to bank the transfer this game week. The big thing for Game Week 9 is captaincy, and it all comes down to form versus fixture. If you go with form, it has to be Mo Salah. He has only blanked once this season, and even in that game, he did score a goal that was deemed offside. If you go with fixture, it has to be Lukaku against Norwich. Lukaku hasn't scored in 6 consecutive games and massively out of form. So this is a tough one. Typically, Man United vs Liverpool is low scoring, but this season, Liverpool are averaging more than 3 goals a game when playing away from home, and I expect them to be on the front foot early on. But I do expect Man United to play quite deep, making it difficult for the likes of Salah to have a clear run at goal. Liverpool also play after Chelsea, which does look appealing. With all that in consideration, I'm the type of FPL manager that favors fixture over form narrowly in a ratio of approximately 60-40. So at this very moment, I will be going with Lukaku as my captain. Let me know who you'll be captaining this game week as well, and if you have any questions that you may need advice on, ask me in the comment section below. With the channel growing a bit, I can now access the community tab on YouTube, which means we can all interact a lot more. I can put up posts, polls, and that's always where I will be posting my final team once I officially confirm it. If you are subscribed to the channel and have your notifications on, you will see it the moment I post it, which is typically on deadline day after I've taken in as much information as possible. If you're enjoying the content here, like the video, let me know your thoughts and subscribe if you haven't yet. Good luck for Game Week 9 everyone, and remember to FPL responsibly.